Joe Rogan had Dan Savage on his podcast, and they spoke about a topic we cover quite a bit, the anti-gay people who turn out to be gay.
If you look at people that are trying to, like, actively trying to oppose gay marriage, actively trying to oppose gay relationships, trying to stop them, almost always there's something gay going on.
They are externalizing an internal conflict.
Yes.
When you look at somebody like Marcus Bachman, who
who's Michelle Bachman's husband,
who is
pray the gay away,
who is gayer sound asleep on the sofa than I am with my dick in my husband's ass. That man is on fire, right? And we can all see it. And I don't know if he's actually gay or not, but he certainly plays one on TV. And his whole practice, part of his practice is devoted to ex-gay therapy, to talking other people out of what he talked himself out of being. There's a lot of rage that fuels the anti-gay movement, and it's peopled by the people who say being gay is a choice. Mm-hmm. They saying sexual orientation is a choice because they chose not to be gay. They chose not to come out and identify as gay. They are gay, and they keep getting outed. Ted Haggard, George Reekers. There's all these examples of prominent people in the anti-gay right and the ex-gay movement itself, like George Reekers, who get caught with dicks.
Of course.
Because they've externalized this internal conflict. I would love, as somebody, I write to a lot of young people, and it would be so great if being rabidly homophobic became associated with being gay.
I think it is.
Because there's homophobia out there. Kids don't want anyone to think they're gay. So I say to these high school and college age kids I sometimes talk to, if you don't want anyone to think you're gay, don't be anti-gay, because that makes people think you're gay. If being thought of as gay makes you uncomfortable and squeaks you out because gay is icky, then you better be cool with the gays.
Don't you think that's already the case though?
I think it's catching on, but not entirely the case with high school, college age kids.
Well,
there's still that homophobia, that paranoia.
Amongst any smart kids, it is.
Yeah.
Any smart kid
gives better.
A little sideways, well, what are you so angry about, dude?
And there's really quickly before we go on, there's science here that they have wired up with penis. I can never say this word. Mm-hmm. It's basically a glass tube. You stick somebody's dick in, you show them porn, and it measures very subtle blood flow changes to the dick and hard-ons. And they took homophobes, they measured these people without telling them, measuring for their homophobia, and they showed these guys gay porn, and they all got boners. So, homophobia correlates very strongly with gay desire and arousal.
Yeah, isn't it amazing that homophobes, they actually agreed to sign up for that? I mean, you might not be getting, the most unbiased
representative
group.
sample.
Yeah, I mean, that group might be a mess.
I think we need to look at the research methodology, but I do believe they didn't say, we need homophobes for this study where we're going to see if you're actually fags or not. Yeah. They didn't recruit quite that blatantly.
I had a joke in my last special that if you hate gay marriage, is one of two reasons. Either you're really dumb or you're secretly worried that dicks are delicious. Those are the only two possibilities. Otherwise, why would you give a fuck?
You're secretly afraid dicks are delicious. That's a funny way of putting it. Look, I don't think a majority of people recognize this theme yet, but I do think we are on the way to making that the perception. And there's been multiple studies now that back up this idea. And it's not 100% of anti-gay people, of course. It's just a lot of anti-gay people who end up being gay. And like Dan Savage said, they are externalizing an internal struggle. If you're somebody who calls being gay a choice, why are you doing that? Why are they doing that? Because, of course, your sexuality isn't a choice. But if you're saying out loud and telling people, well, I think it's a choice, you know what that means? It's a choice for them. And they think, well, everybody thinks like I do, I guess, so I guess it's a choice for everybody else too. No. It means that you're probably bi. If your sexuality is a choice to you and you can determine day by day or minute by minute if you'd rather have some dick or some vag, that means you're attracted to both and you're bi. Now, whether or not you choose to act on that is a different question, okay? Because there are plenty of people who might be bi or might be mostly gay but a little bit straight, but they choose to only, have straight sex because they're fighting off the urge which tempts them, to act gay. So that's what's going on there, and I've met people like that where they say that anybody who argues that being gay is a choice is saying that because it's a choice for them as to whether or not they act on those feelings that they already have. But the bottom line is, if you have those urges, if you have urges to have sex with the same gender, you're either bi or gay. And of course, there's a spectrum. We've gone over this a million times. It's called, I think, the Kinsey scale, where you could be, perfectly bi and 50% attracted to both genders, or, mostly gay but a little straight, or mostly straight but a little gay. So there's a spectrum of it. But if you're attracted to the same gender at all, you are, at least a little bit gay. And, again, we've gone over this many times, and I do think at this point it's inarguable. What they're saying is inarguable, and we just need to get the word out there and change the perception. But they've even done top lists on this. All the different homophobic pastors or homophobic Republicans who are gay. So just to name a few, there's Steve Wiles, Caleb Hesse, George Rikers, Pastor Eddie Long, you remember that guy? Troy King, Richard Curtis, Ted Haggard, probably the most infamous one, who all he did was preach about, one man, one woman marriage, don't give LGBT equality. And he was caught with a gay hooker doing crystal meth off of his ass. There's also Glenn Murphy Jr., David Dreyer, Bruce Barclay, Roy Ashburn, Larry Craig. Remember Wide Stance Larry Craig? A big anti-gay guy. He was caught, I think he was in the New Jersey Turnpike bathroom, was it? And he had the wide stance, which is the universal move that you're signaling to the gay guy in the stall next to you, like, oh, let's get over here and get it on, a little bit of this action, you know what I'm saying? Look, I literally had a convo with an anti-gay dude this week on Twitter, telling him he's too transparent. Like, I let him know. I was like, dude, heads up, man. Anybody who says the things that you're saying right now, they're gay usually. Like, just letting you know that. Because he said some ridiculous thing like, I'm just stating the facts by saying that gay sex is dangerous and it's bad for you, and it's not anti-gay to say it, but gays shouldn't have rights because of this reason, this reason, and this reason. And I was like, dude. Okay, look, man, look. It's obvious you're gay. Like, it's so transparent. Only somebody who has these attractions say these things. And then somebody else chimed in the conversation. I was like, come on, that's not fair, man. You can't say he's gay just because of that. So what did I do? I immediately sent a link to both of them, which was the actual study that said, if you're a homophobe, you are likely gay. And what was the response? The guy who chimed in was actually like, oh, yeah, checkmate. You would appear to be right on this one. And the other guy didn't say anything, but hopefully it landed, man. Hopefully it landed. And you can learn that if you're secretly gay and you don't want anybody to know, number one, you should just be okay with the fact that you're gay and come out of the closet and be open. But number two, for fuck's sake, man, just get over it. Get over it. Just be accepting of people.